I never thought my own sister would destroy my life. I always believed that betrayal came from strangers, from people you barely knew. Not from someone who shared your childhood, your secrets, your blood. But I was wrong. So painfully wrong. Growing up, Emily was my best friend. She was only 2 years younger than me, but everyone always said she was the beautiful one. She had that effortless glow blonde hair that seemed to catch the sunlight in every photo, blue eyes that made people stop and stare. I never envied her, not really. I loved her too much to hate her. I was the quiet one, the one who listened, who dreamed, who helped her pick outfits before her dates. That was our balance. That was who we were. Our parents divorced when we were teenagers. While Emily became the wild one, parties, boys, the kind of girl who knew she could get away with anything, I became the caretaker. I was the one holding everything together, patching the holes in our messy family life. It's funny, isn't it? How the responsible ones always end up breaking hardest. When I met Daniel, I wasn't even looking for love. He came into my life like a calm wave after years of storms. He was kind, attentive, the kind of man who looked at you like you were the only person in the room. We met at a bookstore of all places. I dropped a pile of books and he helped me pick them up. Classic, right? But in that small, awkward moment, something in me shifted. I hadn't felt seen in years. And suddenly there he was seeing me. We started dating slowly at first. Dinners, long walks, endless talks about everything and nothing. I told Emily about him, of course. She teased me, said I was finally acting like a woman in love. She even helped me choose a dress for our third date. "He's going to fall for you," she said, smiling, her eyes shining with genuine excitement. Or so I thought. Daniel met my family after 3 months. Everyone loved him. Especially Emily. She was extra bubbly that night, constantly making jokes, touching his arm when she laughed. I noticed, but I brushed it off. That's just how she was. Warm, friendly, a little flirty with everyone. I had no reason to doubt her. She was my sister. But little by little, things started to feel off. Daniel began canceling plans, saying he was busy with work. When we were together, he seemed distracted. I told myself it was just stress, that maybe I was overthinking. Then one evening, as I scrolled through social media, I saw something. A picture. Emily's story. A photo of 2 glasses of wine, candlelight, and a familiar-looking wristwatch resting on the table. My heart stopped. Daniel had the same watch. The one I gave him for his birthday. I tried to dismiss it, tell myself it was a coincidence. But that night, he didn't answer my calls. And when he finally did, his voice was distant. "I just needed some space," he said. I didn't sleep that night. The next day, I drove to Emily's apartment. I told myself I just needed to talk to her, to see her face. She opened the door wearing an oversized hoodie, Daniel's hoodie. My knees nearly gave out. She froze when she saw me, then gave this awkward laugh, pretending not to notice my expression. But the silence between us said everything. "Emily," I whispered, my throat dry. Are you seeing him?" Her eyes flickered just for a second. And then she sighed, crossing her arms like she was the one being wronged. "It just happened, okay? We didn't plan it. You were always so distant lately, and he came to me for advice." One thing led to another. One thing led to another. Those words shattered me. I left without saying another word. I remember driving aimlessly, not even sure where I was going. I just needed to escape the noise inside my head. I cried until my voice was gone. The kind of cry that leaves you hollow. The kind that changes you. For weeks I avoided them both. I didn't answer calls, didn't open messages. My mother tried to mediate, saying, "They didn't mean to hurt you." But how could I believe that? Betrayal isn't an accident. It's a choice, made over and over again, until there's nothing left to destroy. Months passed. I focused on work, on rebuilding some version of myself. I even moved apartments, hoping that a new place would mean a new start. I thought I was healing. But the universe has a cruel sense of humor. One evening, as I left my office, I saw them, Emily and Daniel, together, laughing like nothing had ever happened. She had her hand on his chest, and he looked down at her with the same soft smile he once gave me. I froze, invisible among the crowd. My heart didn't just ache, it burned. Later that night, Emily called. I didn't answer at first, but she kept calling. Finally, I picked up. "What do you want?" I asked, my voice trembling between anger and exhaustion. I just wanted to talk, she said softly. Please, can we meet? It's important. Against my better judgment, I agreed. Maybe I needed closure. Maybe part of me still loved her despite everything. We met at a small cafe near our old school. She looked different, thinner, paler, her eyes tired. I expected guilt. Instead, she smiled weakly and said, I'm engaged. I felt like the air was sucked out of my lungs. Engaged. To Daniel. I stared at her, speechless, my hands shaking under the table. She must have noticed because she reached for my hand. I wanted you to hear it from me, she said. I know I hurt you, but I want to make things right. I want you at the wedding. At the wedding. As if inviting me to witness my own heartbreak was some kind of olive branch. I laughed, not because it was funny, but because it was too absurd to cry. You're unbelievable, I said quietly. You stole the one person I loved, and now you want me to bless it? Her expression hardened. You can hate me all you want, she snapped. But you can't change what happened. We love each other. You have to accept that. Accept it. That word echoed in my head long after she left. I didn't go to the wedding. I couldn't. I stayed home that day, lying on the couch, staring at the ceiling while imagining her walking down the aisle in white. I hated myself for still caring. I hated that part of me wanted to see her happy, even if it meant my own misery. Time moved on. I dated a few people, but nothing serious. I learned to live with the emptiness, to numb it. Emily and I barely spoke. Every holiday was awkward. Every family dinner tense. But life has a strange way of circling back to the pain you thought you buried. 2 years later, she called again. This time, her voice was shaking. Can you come over? Please. I really need you. I almost hung up. But something in her tone, desperation, fear, made me pause. I drove to her house. When she opened the door, her eyes were red from crying. She looked broken. Behind her, Daniel was gone. The house felt cold, half empty. He left me, she whispered. He cheated. With someone else. For a moment, I just stood there, stunned. I should have felt satisfaction. Justice. But all I felt was this heavy sadness. For her, for me, for the mess we had both become. She started sobbing, clinging to me. I don't have anyone else, she cried. Please, I need you. And just like that, the cycle began again, her falling apart, me picking up the pieces. The same dynamic we had since childhood. Except this time, the wound between us ran deeper than ever. I helped her that night. Made her tea, stayed until she fell asleep on the couch. I watched her breathe, remembering all the nights I'd cried over her choices. Maybe I was weak. Or maybe I just couldn't stop being the big sister who cared too much. As I drove home, I caught my reflection in the rearview mirror. I didn't recognize the woman staring back. My eyes looked older, tired, haunted. I realized that forgiving her didn't mean forgetting, and helping her didn't erase what she'd done. But deep down, I also knew this wasn't over. Because if life had taught me anything, it's that secrets never stay buried. And Emily still had one. A big one. The kind that could change everything. Weeks passed after that night. Emily called me more often. Sometimes just to cry, sometimes to talk about how lost she felt. She told me she couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, that she felt like her world was collapsing. I wanted to tell her, now you know how it feels. But I didn't. Because when she cried, I didn't see the woman who stole my love. I saw my little sister again. The one who used to crawl into my bed after nightmares, asking if monsters were real. And the cruel part is, the monsters were real. They were just hiding inside people we trusted. One night, she showed up at my apartment, clutching a small box. I need to tell you something, she said, her eyes darting nervously. But you have to promise not to hate me. My stomach tightened. I sat down, bracing myself. She opened the box and took out an old photograph. One of me, Daniel, and her, taken years ago at our parents' house. She stared at it for a long time before speaking. Daniel and I, we had a fight before he left. A bad one. He said things I can't forget. I didn't say anything. I just watched her hands tremble as she twisted the photo between her fingers. He told me he never really loved me, she whispered. That it was always you. Her voice cracked on that last word. I blinked, stunned. My heart pounded so hard I thought I might faint. What do you mean? I asked, barely breathing. She shook her head. He said I was just easier. That being with me was revenge for how you hurt him when you pulled away those last few months. He said you were the one who got under his skin, not me. The room spun. I didn't know if I felt vindicated or disgusted. All I could think about was how both of them had twisted something pure into something ugly. So what do you want me to do with that? I finally asked. She looked up, eyes glistening with tears. I think he's seeing someone else now. I need to know who. I can't sleep. I can't stop thinking about it. Please, can you help me? Help her. Again. The same sister who destroyed me was asking me to help her stalk the man who betrayed us both. Every sane part of me screamed no. But curiosity is a dangerous thing. So I said yes. That night, we sat together in my car, parked outside Daniel's apartment. Emily was shaking beside me, clutching her coat, biting her lip. It felt surreal, like we were teenagers again, sneaking out to spy on boys. Except this time the stakes were heartbreak and humiliation. When Daniel's car pulled up, my chest tightened. He stepped out looking exactly the same, calm, confident, handsome in that effortless way. A woman got out of the passenger seat. I leaned forward, trying to see her face. When she turned under the streetlight, my breath caught. It was someone I knew. Someone from my work. Her name was Lily. She was kind, sweet, soft-spoken, and she had no idea about any of this. Emily gasped. That's her. I nodded slowly, speechless. Emily's expression changed. The kind of anger that comes from humiliation, from realizing you weren't special after all. She grabbed the door handle, ready to storm out. I grabbed her arm. Don't, I said firmly. Don't do this. She looked at me, tears brimming in her eyes. He ruined my life. No, I said quietly. We ruined each other's. She broke down then, sobbing so hard I had to pull her into my arms. For the first time in years, I held her without resentment. And in that moment, I realized something terrifying. I didn't hate her anymore. But I didn't trust her either. The next morning, I went to work like nothing had happened. Lily greeted me with her usual smile, unaware that her new boyfriend was my ex, my sister's ex, the epicenter of our shared destruction. I wanted to warn her, to tell her to run. But what right did I have? I had my own ghosts to bury. Days turned into weeks. Emily spiraled deeper into despair. She lost weight, stopped going to work, stopped answering friends. I visited her often, bringing food, trying to convince her to move on. But she couldn't. She was stuck in that endless loop of pain and guilt, the same loop I'd lived in for years. Then one night I got another call. Her voice was quiet, fragile. Can you come over? I don't feel safe. When I arrived, the house was dark except for a single lamp in the living room. Emily sat on the floor surrounded by photos, of her and Daniel, of us as kids, of moments that used to mean something. I keep thinking about what you said, she murmured, staring at the pictures. That we ruined each other. She looked up, her eyes swollen from crying. You were right. And I can't live like this anymore. A chill ran down my spine. Emily, what are you talking about? She handed me a letter sealed with my name on it. My hands trembled as I took it. I just wanted to say I'm sorry, she whispered. My heart stopped. Emily, no. She stood up, walked to the kitchen drawer, and before I could react, she pulled out a bottle of pills. I grabbed her wrist, shouting her name, but she crumbled into my arms, sobbing uncontrollably. I don't want to feel this anymore. I hate myself. I called an ambulance. They came fast. She survived. Barely. At the hospital, I sat by her bed all night, watching her sleep, pale and fragile, hooked to machines. I felt so many things at once: anger, grief, love, exhaustion. But mostly, I felt something I hadn't in a long time: peace. Because for the first time, she couldn't lie. She couldn't hide behind charm or manipulation. She was just human. When she woke up the next morning, she looked at me through tears. Why did you save me? Because I still love you, I said quietly. Even if I shouldn't. She broke again then, sobbing until her voice gave out. And I just sat there, holding her hand, realizing how cruel and complicated love could be. Over the next few weeks, she started therapy. She moved in with our mother, tried to rebuild her life piece by piece. I visited her often, even when she didn't ask. Sometimes we sat in silence, sometimes we talked for hours. There were still wounds between us, but at least we weren't pretending anymore. One afternoon, she handed me a small envelope. "I want you to read this," she said. Inside was another letter. Daniel's handwriting. I hesitated but opened it. It was dated a few weeks before he left her. In it, he confessed everything. That he never stopped thinking about me. That being with Emily was his way of staying close to me. That he hated himself for it. And that he was leaving town because he couldn't bear the guilt anymore. I felt sick. I'd spent years blaming Emily. And she'd spent years destroying herself trying to keep someone who never truly loved her. I looked at her, tears streaming down my face. "Why didn't you show me this before?" "Because I didn't want you to pity me," she whispered. "I wanted you to hate me. It was easier." We cried together for a long time. All the anger, all the pain, it finally broke open. It wasn't clean. It wasn't beautiful. But it was real. In the months that followed, something unexpected happened. We grew close again. Not the way we were before. Innocence doesn't come back once it's gone, but in a quiet, fragile way. Like survivors of the same storm, Daniel eventually reached out. He wanted to talk, to make amends. I ignored him. There was nothing left to say. Some ghosts deserve to stay ghosts. Life went on. Slowly, painfully, beautifully. I met someone new. Someone kind, patient, gentle. I didn't tell him everything at first. But one night, as we sat watching the sunset, I opened up. I told him about Emily, about Daniel, about how love can destroy and heal in the same breath. He listened without judgment. And when I finished, he took my hand and said, "You're stronger than you think." For the first time in years, I believed it. Emily is doing better now. She's not the same person she was, and neither am I. Sometimes we still talk about the past, not to reopen old wounds, but to remember how far we've come. Last week, she looked at me and said something I'll never forget. Maybe we both had to lose him to find ourselves. I smiled because she was right. Love isn't about possession or revenge. It's about survival. And somehow, through all the wreckage, we survived. But sometimes when I close my eyes, I still see that night. The first time I realized she'd taken him from me. The betrayal still lives somewhere deep inside me. Like a scar that no longer bleeds but never fully fades. And yet, I wouldn't erase it. Because that pain taught me who I am. It taught me that forgiveness isn't weakness. It's freedom. It taught me that the people who break us aren't always villains. Sometimes they're just broken too. And it taught me that even when love is stolen, it can still lead you back to yourself. Because in the end, I didn't lose the love of my life. I found something better. I found me. If you've ever been betrayed by someone you love, you know the kind of silence it leaves behind, the kind that echoes. For a long time, I thought that silence was emptiness. But now I know it's space. Space for healing, for forgiveness, for peace. My sister and I will never be who we were. But maybe that's okay. Maybe love was never meant to be perfect, only real. And if I could go back, I wouldn't change a thing. Because sometimes the heartbreak that breaks you is the very thing that finally sets you free.